What's up, guys? It's Charles here with Rocket Punch. I'm going to do another review. Today we have the Machine Robo Baikanfu, which is actually a Pose Plus Metal Series release. The box is actually ginormous. I can't wait to get in here and check this out, but you can see most of the figure here on the front of the box. We flip it around. You see Kenryu, I believe that's his name. I got to get brushed up on this stuff. But look at the back. Also shows the combined form. Well, shows the combined form plus everything else that's included in the set. A nice little gold foil here. Alright, so let's take a look at the side of the box with the help of Wikipedia. Right here we have Rom Stol, which is a master of martial art, Tenku Chushin Ken. Literally means sky, space, heart, fist. Now, using the wolf sword Kenru, Rom can combine with Kenryu and Baikonfu for more power. And this is Kenryu, larger body robot of Rom Stol. At the peak of light energy, Kenru can cross the dimensional barrier and call forth Kenryu. When Rom combines with Kenryu, his power increases by tens. When the combination is complete, he says, wherever there is darkness, there is light. Wherever there is evil, there is also good. The emissary from heavens, Kenryu, is here. Then we got this dude Baikanfu here, largest robot body of Rom Stol, and summoned at Rom's command of heaven, earth, fire, and water. Grant me the power. When Baikanfu synchronizes with the planet's energies, he can draw upon the power of nature itself to awaken the emotion and soul of giant robot collectors in their pants. Alright, so we got the inside out here, and it does come in a nice big styrofoam tray. But if you look at the graphics, kind of disappointing how simple the graphics are. I mean, it's not bad, but it just looks like really rushed. I don't know if that's like a theme for Machine Robo stuff. Don't own too much of that, but yeah, it just seems like really quickly done. But at least it's got one of those window style designs like the old school figures. You also get this nice little booklet here, the instruction manual, and of course the figures themselves. You see Rom Stol, Kenryu, and Baikonfu. Now, I don't know if the intention of Sentinel is to overthrow Soul of Chogokin. Obviously their intention is something with souls of robot collectors. But they're doing a great job. I'm going to tell you that right now. The materials and the precision and the paint, everything screams like just a tad higher level Soul of Chogokin. So I think that's what they're going for. I mean, this is one of the nicest Kenryus I've seen ever. I do have the Soul of Chogokin, but because it's for sale, it's put away. So I can't really do the comparison here. So I'm sorry about that, guys. But I'm sure this one's better. But here is Rom Stol. So he's got alternate body parts. I guess one is for perfect transformation and whatever. We'll figure that out in just a moment. Can't really tell. But here, this looks like this might fold up. So we'll find that out in just a moment since I'm opening this up for the first time. And of course, Baikonfu here feels very nice and hefty. I didn't feel any die cast on the outer parts, so most of it's on the inside, which is fine, but I would like to have felt some metal. I think the feet are metal. This feels nice and cold, and obviously they got metal joints. Very shiny figure. I'm afraid to get fingerprints all over it. We just wipe that down. It looks like the red is painted. It doesn't look like it's just regular plastic, which I think does a lot. A lot of times when figures are molded in their color, it kind of makes it look cheaper. Like maybe this is molded in blue. Not that it looks cheaper, as long as they do the colors right, but it does give it a different look when it is actually painted. Go over the instruction booklet because it is very informational. You do have all the parts, right, that it comes with, the optional parts. And then it does also give you the articulation, so that way you know where all the articulation is, which is good for the articulation version or part of this video. Alright, and then obviously the transformation, and there's a lot of, I wouldn't say warnings, but like indications of things that you should be looking out for. Another cool thing I wanted to add is that it has these little QR codes which take you to like the section where it shows you how to do whatever it is they're showing, which is a really neat idea. But anyway, we're going to get right here to Rom Stol, which has an alternate head, alright, with the visor open. It does have this optional lower body, which I'm assuming is so that it looks natural from the back, because technically this one's fine, just has all this stuff going on, which is for transformation. So we're going to just pop this off. put this one on, and I guess it makes it more action figure-y. I guess, you know, not that this one isn't, but there's a lot of stuff going on here. Maybe, I don't know. Really, I don't know the reason for that extra one, but it's there. It does look a lot cleaner from the back. We're going to check out the articulation. We got the head on a ball joint, but it's kind of seized up since it's new. Alright, there we go. Alright, and then the shoulder. Now the shoulders do have pretty good articulation. There's 2 joints there. We do have a bicep swivel. So even though this is tiny, it does have a lot of articulation from what I see. And then this, well, this articulation here is more for the transformation. Nobody's wrist bends like that, but we have the little fist hands there. It does have alternate hands. They're probably somewhere in the box on the bottom of the styro. And we got ab crunch. We have the waist. We have the legs that split with the joints there, and also the swivel here. We got the knee, very nice articulation in the knee. And then we have the ankles, which also have angle tilt, so you can do some crazy ninja style, you know, things that I normally don't pose. But yeah, so that's this little guy, Rom Stol. We're going to check out some of his weapons. Just wanted to show you a couple things here. So he does have the Ryusei blade. Hope I'm saying that right. Ryusei. And then the Kenryu blade right here. And then there's also a blade connector, so you can attach both. He's got little, and I'm talking little, open hands, as you can see there. He's got the blade holding hands. He's also got a pointer hand. Go ahead and detach this little hand here, which just pops on and off with a little ball joint there. And oops, try and get this on here. That flexy wrist is going to be difficult. Can't even find the hole here. Alright, so there he is with one of the blades. Now we are going to attach the 2 blades, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, so here we have the 2 blades attached. Spin them around so you can see what that looks like. I do have to say that the hand does not stay on very well. It just comes right off, so just heads up with that. So a little disappointing that it doesn't stay on very easily, but it will stay on if you're just displaying. Here's Rom Stol with the alternate head, which is the visor open, and the details are pretty nice on the face there. The eyes do actually have details, they're not cross-eyed or anything like that, so that's actually very refreshing. Next we'll take a look at Kenryu here. So he's a nice blue and silver. Okay, and he feels nice. I mean, there's definitely heft there. You see the metal content here, and on the joints. I'm just very glad they did the joints in metal to avoid any breakage. Although they can become loose over time. Don't know about these, but technically or typically, metal joints do come loose over time after extended use. So these will not get extended use. They're just going to be combined once, and that's it. But they're tight. The joints are tight. You know, they only get loose here when I do this because there is weight at the bottom, but they are nice and firm. Anyway, so as far as the articulation, we got the head, of course. Can turn around pretty much all the way. Does it hit? Yeah, the chin kind of hits, but it doesn't on the side there. You get the shoulders. You can bring them up this way. You do get butterfly joints, as far as I know. Where are they? You get bicep swivels right here, which are very tight. You also get the elbows. You get the hands here on a little ball joint. You get slight ab crunch right here. You also got the waist. Do have the legs here. Now you do have to be careful with the legs. This joint here, which is part of this movement, is plastic, so be careful. Just hold on to it, give it some leverage here, pull it open. And same thing when you go back. And we got the knees here. Okay, and we have swivel on the thighs. And then we have the ankles right here. A little bit of toe action. Now as far as accessories, you do get the Kenryu blade. This is the medium size. So you get the small size with Rom Stol. This is the medium size. Then you got the shield here. You have the weapon holding hand and also an open hand. Alright, now this dude is massive. This is the centerpiece. Well, not really the centerpiece, Rom Stol is, but you know what I mean by that. The centerpiece of the set here, which is just, I don't know, leaves me at a loss for words. It's beautiful, it's hefty, it's shiny, it's Baikonfu. Now it does have the animation opening ears, which you can pop off and put the just the regular animation ones in, which are straight. It's kind of cool that they give you those options. You know, normally when you make toys, like just standard run-of-the-mill toys, they don't bother with stuff like that. But I mean, it's a Japanese toy, so of course they have to go through all those details, which is a good thing in case that stuff bothers you. And most collectors do have their own little OCD kind of things, so a good thing they have that. But we're gonna leave these here because these are the ones I like. All right. Now, as far as articulation. We have the head here. Okay, we have these shoulders that open just so you can see what that looks like. And you also see the joints there, metal. Nice ratchets right there. We got the swivels here on the elbows. Let's move down a bit here. The swivels here. We got the hands, which are not on a ball joint. They're kind of like a, what do you call it? A little hinge, honestly. It does spin around. Not a ball joint. But check out these fingers and hands. So this is definitely better than something Bandai would do, although they do have all, what do you call it, articulated fingers on some of the releases, but nothing this small. And it's not really that small, but really cool. And it's individual, okay? And not only do they go straight at, oh, look at that, it popped all of them off. Awesome. So yeah, you don't want to do that, but they're just ball joints. I put all the weight of the figure on these little fingers when I tried to move them. But you can see that they don't just come out straight. They're on a ball joint, so the fingers can move this way independently. Now I'm going to pop these fingers back in. That was all me, not the figure's fault. I did put all the weight of the figure on the fingers when I tried to open them. And they are pretty firm, so they just pop out from the force. But as you can see, I put them back on. I guess to save on molding, they're all the same length. Obviously our hands are not all the same length, but truly to me it does not matter. It still looks really cool. Alright, so getting back to everything else, the articulation, this lower part does also swivel. We got the waist, which I'm not sure if the Soul of Chogokin has a waist, does it? I'm not sure. Haven't played with that in a long time. We got the leg articulation. You see some nice big metal joints there and nice ratchets. We got the upper ratcheting thigh. Wow, nice. And we have ratchets here. Let's see. Oh yes, we have ratchets in the knees. How far back do they go? They go right there. They don't completely touch there. That's a nice little feature. And what else am I missing here? We got that. We have the ankle right there. This is spring loaded. No, move that out of the way there so we can move that. And yeah, I can definitely feel metal here somewhere. I don't know how long it's going to take before somebody invents like something like a TV you can touch, you know, or something to really, I mean, it's hard to convey quality, right? I mean, a lot of the quality is what you feel in your hand. But, you know, if you look at this, you can tell it's definitely quality. The finish is nice, but I wish there was a way for me to be able to let you guys know exactly how this feels. But I can tell you it does feel awesome and looks awesome so far. So I guess the only thing we can do now, well, we'll check out his accessories obviously first. But, well actually no, we'll check out his accessories after we combine him, because that makes sense. So we're going to go through the combination thing. I think there's special connectors so you can leave it splayed open, which is how I'm going to display mine once I have a place to display it. But, yeah, let's go ahead and do that now. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to do it in the order of the book. We're going to do Baikonfu first. Notice all the little green points. Those are points that you have to confirm prior to combination, which is a really nice thing they put there to avoid any kind of breakage or damage and properly do it. Alright, for this part I'm going to stop and do it slower. So you do have to plug him in to Kenryu. Right up here there's two little tabs and then two little holes on his back. Just got to be careful. You kind of have to snake it in there. Just use those green points on the instructions just to make sure you're not missing anything. And it should go in pretty good. I actually like the way that fits in there. Alright, so now that we got him in there, we're going to get this little set here to go into Baikonfu. Just be careful closing everything up. Just make sure you're not scratching anything. It's very easy to scratch something on this. Alright, bring these around. Close this. Rotate these parts and snap in. Why won't it snap in now? Alright guys, so I'm at the point where I have to install him. It's going to be very tough to do on camera, so I have to apologize for that. But I'm going to try and get him in there and I guess give you some pointers as to what you need to do. But it's very hard to do while I'm filming. So one little tough part is right here where this splits. It's spring loaded. It does kind of go in. Just got to make sure everything snaps right in. Very nice. Push the center chest there in. Get the wrist popped in right here. Alright, I think we got him. You do have to bend the knee. You got to get this angle to clear this crotch area here. But I'm amazed at the engineering in this so far. I mean, it's solid. Look at this. I'm holding it with one leg. It's just really solid figure. I guess all I got to do is close everything up. I notice here there's a little paint chip on that point. You can see right there. It looks like it's just white painted plastic. Why? I don't know. But it's easy to touch up. And I guess we can just start closing everything up and see what it looks like in finished form. But first, let's just take a look at it open like this. Get the full effect. Now, as cool as that looks, this isn't actually the way you would display it. There is alternate pieces that allow you to do the pile formation display, which looks a lot better. It almost looks like a 3D effect, so we'll make sure to show you that in just a moment. But let's just put this guy together and check out his weapons. One other thing, during the sequence there, you noticed me use a tool. Now this tool is supposed to divide the crotch. It doesn't do a very good job at it because the precision is so high on the two pieces that tab together that this doesn't even really squeeze in there. As a matter of fact, me shoving it in there, I started noticing some paint chipping. I can't remember exactly where, probably right here on that little corner. So just be careful. Use your nail, use something else. I don't know. Just be careful. Maybe open it from the bottom. Just a little edit from the future. Make sure these panels are open right here to avoid any clearance issues, okay? And then you can bring these things up. And you also want to be careful where you push because you can see a lot of painted plastic does touch together. So just be careful with those parts. Alright, so here he is finished up. His head's a little crooked there. Let's get that straight. And as awesome as it is, I don't think I'm ever going to do that again. Not because it's not awesome, just it's a little nerve-wracking, even though everything clips in a lot better than I ever thought it would, and probably the best type of like Russian doll kind of robot there is right now, because everything else sort of is flimsy. This is not flimsy at all. Everything's solid in there, but it is a little nerve-wracking because it's so expensive. Speaking of which, it's like over $500. So you're pretty much just worried about what's going on in there when you move the limbs. So I'm not going to move the limbs too much, but I mean, it does articulate, you know what I mean? And you can kind of see the remnants of Kenryu in there, also in the arms. But I kind of wish they came with like a dummy, so you can display, well, I mean, you can anyway, but you'll always see that gap there. It's kind of hidden by this, you know, but you can see his arm there, which is kind of cool. So it should have a dummy one like the Soul of Chogokin, but it's not a big deal. But if you do want to display them separately, which you can. And his accessories include alternate hands. One is the weapon holding hand, so you can hold a large blade here. You do have to remove the articulated hand. You'll see a little blue plug in there. You also have to attach a little ball joint to this that has a tab that goes in there. This would be it right here. Just pop it in and attach that. Then you got the blade. Anyway, so we're going to do the little 3D explosion pile formation thing, just to let you guys see what that looks like. So it comes with little connector pieces. let's go ahead and check that out. I'm just going to put it together and show you guys the end result. Alright, so I went ahead and attached this piece right here. It just pops right in. I've also gone ahead and attached this little piece on his backpack, and this piece, and this piece here. So this is going to tab into there. Let's try and get this as straight as possible. Alright, once he's on there, I'm going to get this little guy to bolt in just like the other one. And pop him up right in here. Oh, of course, that's got to move, make it more difficult. It's not as easy as it looks. I thought it would be a little more straightforward. Alright guys, it's not the best. I'm sure someone out there can do a lot better than me. But this is just so you can see what it looks like with that 3D effect, which I think is awesome. I'm sure there's a little bit more you can move around just to get it a little bit better. But I think this would be great for display. I might actually display it this way. I was thinking of doing each robot individually, but yeah, this is a good idea. So there's a couple of things I should point out without having to put everything back together. So after you know, combining these guys, there's a few points that I want to go over. This lower part, the crotch area where you have to split it, try not to split it from the actual crotch, but underneath, like the taint, sort of, the perineum or whatever that's called. I used the guitar pick. That seemed to work better without scratching it. The little tool that it comes with is nice and sharp, and it's plastic, so it shouldn't really scratch the paint, but because you're trying to get at it from a very high precision part, because the pieces just come together, there's no space. So you kind of have to form a space, and that's what causes the chipping. But I learned to start from the bottom. There's a little bit more space there, and just wedge it and then twist like a key to pop it off. Another thing I noticed on this is the foot is now loose. That was not like that until forming it together. And then this guy's knee is also loose, which it was already loose to begin with, but it got really loose now that I've gone ahead and put them together. But other than that, the figure has remained solid. Is it a $500 figure? I would say that's normal for this type of figure now, you know, because of the times we live in, manufacturing costs, things like that. And I mean, there's a lot of pieces, guys, that goes into this. Just remember, a lot of the pricing from these things comes from the tooling. That's, at least that's what I do to make myself a little bit better, feel a little bit better about paying this much. But and I also noticed this, I told you guys, is painted white. At least one of these parts are. So it chipped there. So just little things to look out for, you know, which is normal for figures to chip, but when you're paying $500, kind of hurts. But yeah, it's a great figure. If you want to pick one of these up, maybe they're still available at BBTS. So click the link in the description below. And guys, if you're liking the videos, just give a like. It's free to give a like. If you're enjoying the video, that really helps out the channel in more ways than you think. It's not about money, guys. This is not any type of you know, anything that you would write home about. So at least the support and views really helps, guys, and the likes and the shares and all that stuff keep this channel going for as long as it could possibly go, because I'm sure at some point I will be making my last video, which is kind of sad, but I'm sure the day's coming, but hopefully it's not too soon. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. Until next time, guys, bye bye.